Hi, it's Rich Tehrani. We're here at CTIA 2010 in Las Vegas. Thanks for watching us. On our program today is Aidan Dillon, who's the CTO of Accuris Networks. Aidan, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Rich.
Thanks for being on our program.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit about your company, please.
Sure. Accuris Networks, we're an Irish company. We're headquartered in Dublin, and we provide infrastructure products or products to mobile carriers that allow them to offer their services across different technologies. So essentially we're a gateway to allow them to allow their services to roam onto other networks. The main propositions we have are, one is Wi-Fi offload, so to allow mobile operators to push their services onto Wi-Fi, data services onto Wi-Fi, and more recently then we've also just launched a voice over LTE version as well, so to allow them again to push their existing services onto LTE networks.
So in terms of the Wi-Fi component, how do you deal with the security issues?
So what we're doing is we're using the operator's own security methods, so SIM-based authentication on GSM networks, for example. So what we're able to do is take SIM-based authentication from Wi-Fi networks and pass it back into the operator's own authentication center, so they're authenticated actually on the mobile network. So the idea is that we're giving the mobile operators a bit more control of how they use Wi-Fi networks. They can allow their subscribers to go onto other networks like Wi-Fi, but at the same time remain on net in a sense, so that they're still the operator's subscriber and they can still deliver their services. So from an authentication point of view, it's SIM-based authentication. But what we're able to do the next level then is to allow them to push the rest of their services onto Wi-Fi as well. So from obvious ones like voice and messaging, but also other data services. So for example, an operators that may be launching app stores, to actually be able to sell somebody an app when they're on Wi-Fi, it means they need to be authenticated on the mobile network. So again, we're able to help them offer their data services and avoid their subscribers using over-the-top services when they're on other networks.
Understood. And so what are you seeing in terms of the carrier markets? Are there some areas of the country that are performing better than others right now?
Or
areas of the world?
Yeah, I mean, we're absolutely, yeah. I mean, for this particular proposition, it's really about operators that have a mature data offering, 3G offering. So it tends to be the Western countries.
More developed.
Yeah, exactly. So some Asian countries, Western European countries, and obviously the Americas as well. So that's where we're seeing that. But we also provide, for example, we have solutions for developing countries as well, where we actually do CDMA to GSM conversion as well.
Oh.
So we have the world's first prepaid CDMA to GSM interworking. So to allow prepaid CDMA subscribers to roam onto GSM networks. And again, that's very much on the other types of markets, like it's Africa's and other countries where CDMA is still being rolled out.
Very interesting. Okay, so you're beginning to. So is there a lot of growth with roaming in some of the developed countries?
Yeah. I mean, it is, especially with CDMA operators. Typically, GSM operators have been very good at setting up roaming, and roaming works quite nicely for CDMA operators. They haven't taken the chance to increase their revenues, but with roaming, and we're seeing a lot of growth in that. So yeah, it's becoming quite a large growth area, and it's a lucrative area for operators.
Good. And how's the show going for you?
The show's going good. Quite busy. It's great here. You just get lots of meetings set up and back-to-back meetings for a few days.
Mostly meetings then that you're doing here at the show. Okay, good.
Yeah,
it's a good place, a good gathering place. We've been coming here for a number of years as well, so always a good show for us. So in terms of the future, what kinds of things will your company be coming out with?
What we're really about is, as I said, service continuity. So allowing mobile operators to push their services onto other networks. So for us, it's going on to the next generation networks, the 4G networks, IMS networks, or Evolved Packet Core. So allow them to use some of their existing services and push them onto next generation networks. So that's very much what we're seeing. That's where we recently launched our voice over LTE, for example, but not just voice, but messaging as well. So they're able to, again, like we're doing with Wi-Fi, treat LTE as another network that they can push their services onto, because LTE itself didn't take voice into account really when it was being designed. So to be able to use some of the existing infrastructure to be able to deliver that, and that's what we're able to do is kind of interwork their legacy services with next generation networks.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on our program today. This was really great. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you very much for having me on.